very much.
great author of that fine book that I read by
Thank you.
And I advise everybody in the audience to read it also. Why we're doing this interview is that you cannot come to the event tomorrow, very unfortunately, but it's because of Bapak President.
I feel very sad for that. I'm very sorry.
Yeah, but we are happy that you can enlighten us a bit through this interview. So maybe I think my first question to you should be, why did you write the book?
First of all, I am actually a restless being. Because of that, I want to say something to my fellow Muslim and others also, that Islam as a sin is not Islam as being practiced by the Muslim right now. Because the main message of Islam is how to spread mercy, grace for all humanity.
I read in your book, and that is very nicely put, that Islam should be a blessing for the universe. Can you elaborate a bit more? You say one of the things is mercy and grace. What exactly do you mean?
Yeah, in original text in Arabic, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَى رَحْمَةِ الْعَالَمِينَ. We do not send you, Muhammad, except but to as a mercy, as a grace for universe, for all human beings, not all human beings, but also for all creatures.
All right. Yeah. So that
in this concept, universal brotherhood, the establishment of justice and tolerance should be part of this main message.
Yeah, this was a very interesting part of your book, your message of tolerance, for example, towards people with different religions or no religions or minorities. Is there any basis for that in the Quran?
Yeah. For example, in Surah, in part, in Yunus, Jonah, God says, "Oh Muhammad, you cannot compare, you cannot force others to believe in what you believe, because the freedom of religion should be the philosophy of a human being."
Yeah. And this all follows directly from the text of the Quran. Yeah. And you very clearly elaborate on that in your book for somebody who is not very well versed in that. It contains a lot of interesting information. And as you say, also probably for your fellow Muslims, right? Because they might not know this.
Yeah. Maybe they know. Maybe they do not want to understand seriously the message of the Quran.
Why?
Because maybe they lack of sincerity. Lack of sincerity is an obstacle to be a good believer.
Is that a teaching from the Quran that is not picked up, that is misunderstood, or?
Yes. Because as I said, that what the Muslims are practicing now is different kind of Islam, not the original and authentic Islam.
But why did this happen?
I think because of there are because of the historical background, because of the many people cannot differentiate between Islam and Arabism.
Yeah.
Particularly by the non-Arab Muslim. They believe whatever come from the Arab world is Islam. That's not true.
No. You would say the claim here in Indonesia for its own Islam is just as valid as the one in Arabia.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So you would say Indonesia should continue to develop its own
Yes,
Islam,
of course.
its tolerance.
Yeah. Hopefully, this Indonesian Islam will to some extent repair this misunderstanding.
Yeah. And you want your book to contribute to that, right?
Yes, of
Right,
course.
right.
Yeah.
How do you think, apart from your book, that this can be stimulated, that Indonesia will make its own form of Islam stronger?
Yeah, because Indonesian Islam has no historical burden. Here, there was no theological controversy, philosophical controversy as happened in the past in the Arab world. So we can start fresh to understand Islam.
Yeah. And use your own sources here, your own cultural sources, your own history here.
Yeah.
To be included. And
yes, of course. Yeah.
Particular brand of Islam. Yes. I was also struck by your. These are concepts from the West, I think.
Okay.
Your liberal view on people who are not Muslim, who have a different religion or no religion at all. You say we're all brothers. We should be here, all on this earth, and live.
Of course. Even an atheist has the right to coexist with believers in this only planet, Earth planet,
Yeah, yeah.
The Quran said of that.
Yeah, you base that all on the original verses, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So you would say those people pick the wrong verses, or they don't want to read it right?
I think because of the subjective, historical background, and also maybe for political reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That brings us to next year's elections, right? The relationship between Islam or religion or identity politics with politics. How do you see that relation? Last Sunday we even had the 212 reunion.
What you see, what has been developed by the Ikhwan movement in Egypt, for example, or Jamaat Islami movement in subcontinent. They have their own definition of Islam. They say Islam is the religion and state. I think this is wrong. It should be Islam is religion and mercy, or as a gift from God. Islam should be religion and mercy, not religion and state or political system.
You would say Islam as such does not have a political message. It has a religious message, but not a political one.
There are some political message in Islam, but the message is more moral in its character.
And you mean moral in the personal sense or social for the group?
Personal and collective
both.
Message, both. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So you make a strong point that Indonesian Islam coexists next to the Indonesian state, right? They should not fuse. They are different. They should kind of support each other, right? There should be a positive engagement, but they are not the same. How do you look on this? Let's say it goes on for decades now. This struggle in Pancasila to make Islam more priority in Pancasila.
Yeah, you know, not long after the independence, there was a debate on the basis of state between Islam and Pancasila. Okay. At that time, the Muslim politicians were mostly influenced by the Ikhwan, Islamic concept of Islam. I said to you that Islam is a religion and state. This is very, very dangerous definition.
Yeah.
So, for them, that political power is very, very important to take in order to implement the teaching of Islam.
For you, that is not so necessary to
Not
have
so
political
necessary.
power.
Yeah.
You could do with a political power that gives Islam space in society, that would be enough. Islam would take care of itself.
Yeah, I think Islam is more to implement the teaching of Islam. We need a more democratic sphere, more democratic environment, you see. So the people have the option, okay, to accept Islam, or they reject it.
Yeah, that's their own choice.
Yeah,
that's their free choice.
Sure.
And that is not something that goes directly from Islam.
Yeah.
Right. If you now look at the campaigns towards the elections, would you say what would be for you the best role of religion? And that not necessarily only Islam, but religion. Is there a role for religion?
Of course, I think the primary role of religion is to give moral guidance to the politician, to the right guidance and moral guidance to the political competitors.
To both of them.
To both of them.
Tomorrow you have a wonderful chance to guide one of the candidates, right? you will have opportunity to discuss this all with him.
Yeah. You know, every week I write in a column in paper Republica.
Yeah.
Every Tuesday.
Yeah. And these days there's a lot about identity politics in religion. Would you say, is there a role for identity politics in let's say the campaigns, or is that simply dangerous? You should stay away from that.
Hopefully, this is very situational state of political competition after the election. I hope the situation will be getting better, and the reconciliation of the political parties will be improved.
Yeah. Let's suppose people listen to your great advice and Islam Nusantara will grow, become stronger. Is that something, could that be like an example for the world? Or is it too typically Indonesian?
I think the term of Islam Nusantara is an antithesis to the Islam that's now practiced by the most of the Arab Muslim. Because Islam Nusantara actually, theoretically, is more open, peaceful, and open-minded.
Yeah. And what you describe, let's say, two sorts of Islam. Would they have a different relationship with politics? Like, you are very clear about your Islam. It's for democratic politics, right?
Sure.
For freedom, for tolerance.
Yes, yeah.
But that does not go the same for the others, right? Is that your worry?
Yeah, that's because you know, Islam came to not in empathy situation, not in empathy sphere. So Islam then developed very rapidly historically as one of the consequences is it would be not very easy for many people to differentiate which one is true Islam and which one the another kind of Islam.
This takes a lot of education, and you put a lot of emphasis in your book on educating people. Without the education, it's going to be a problem. But would you like, for example, give Indonesia more space to go outside and have an influence in the wider Islamic world and try to influence that?
I think in the future, this ideas should be the string, the wave of Islam in the future.
Yeah, and you're optimistic about that?
I'm trying to be optimistic.
Yeah. Well, we will all be trying to be optimistic with you. I think you gave a lot of views that will help us in our discussion.
Thank you very much.
And I thank you very much for your book and for this interview.
Thank
Dr.
you.
Maarif, thank you.